Welcome to another exciting journey through the Bible. Today we are diving into the book of Jeremiah. Known as the weeping prophet, Jeremiah was called by God to deliver messages of warning, judgment, and hope to the people of Judah. He stood firm in his calling despite opposition, rejection, and suffering. His words resonate God's justice, mercy, and unwavering plans for his people. Are you ready to test your knowledge of Jeremiah's life, prophecies, and the lessons they hold? Let's dive into 25 thought-provoking questions on the book of Jeremiah. Before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss out. Share your scores and thoughts in the comments. Let's get started. Question 1. What was Jeremiah's primary role as a prophet? A. King of Judah. B. A priest in the temple. C. A messenger of God's judgment and restoration. D. A military leader. The answer is C. A messenger of God's judgment and restoration. But the Lord said to me, "Do not say, 'I am too young.' You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you," declares the Lord. Jeremiah 1:7-8. Question 2. During whose reign did Jeremiah begin his prophetic ministry? A. King Saul. B. King David. C. King Solomon. D. King Josiah. The answer is D. King Josiah. The word of the Lord came to him in the 13th year of the reign of Josiah, son of Ammon, king of Judah. Jeremiah 1:2. Question 3. How did Jeremiah initially respond to God's calling? A. He immediately accepted. B. He rejoiced. C. He doubted and said he was too young. D. He fled like Jonah. The answer is C. He doubted and said he was too young. "Alas, sovereign Lord," I said, "I do not know how to speak. I am too young." Jeremiah 1:6. Question 4. What vision did God show Jeremiah to confirm his calling? A. A burning bush. B. A boiling pot and an almond tree. C. A valley of dry bones. D. A ladder reaching to heaven. The answer is B. A boiling pot and an almond tree. The word of the Lord came to me. "What do you see, Jeremiah?" "I see the branch of an almond tree," I replied. The Lord said to me, "You have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled." Jeremiah 1:11-14. Question 5. What major event did Jeremiah warn Judah about? A. A great earthquake. B. The Babylonian invasion and exile. C. The coming of the Messiah. D. The rebuilding of the temple. The answer is B. The Babylonian invasion and exile. Therefore, the Lord Almighty says this: "Because you have not listened to my words, I will summon all the peoples of the north and my servant Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, declares the Lord, and I will bring them against this land and its inhabitants and against all the surrounding nations. I will completely destroy them and make them an object of horror and scorn and an everlasting ruin." Jeremiah 25:8-11. Question 6. How did the people react to Jeremiah's prophecies? A. They repented immediately. B. They ignored him. C. They persecuted and rejected him. D. They built an altar for him. The answer is C. They persecuted and rejected him. When the priest Pashur son of Immer, the official in charge of the temple of the Lord, heard Jeremiah prophesying these things, he had Jeremiah the prophet beaten and put in the stocks at the upper gate of Benjamin at the Lord's temple. Jeremiah 21:1-2. Question 7. What symbolic act did God command Jeremiah to do with a linen belt? A. Bury it and retrieve it later. B. Burn it as a sacrifice. C. Give it to the king. D. Wash it in the Jordan River. The answer is A. Bury it and retrieve it later. Then the word of the Lord came to me a second time. Take the belt you bought and are wearing around your waist, and go now to Perath and hide it there in a crevice in the rocks. So I went and hid it at Perath, as the Lord told me. Many days later the Lord said to me, Go now to Perath and get the belt I told you to hide there. So I went to Perath and dug up the belt and took it from the place where I had hidden it, but now it was ruined and completely useless. Jeremiah 13:1-7. Question 8. What did Jeremiah say about false prophets? A. They were sent by God. B. They spoke lies and deceived the people. C. They would lead the people to victory. D. They were just misunderstood. The answer is B. They spoke lies and deceived the people. This is what the Lord Almighty says. Do not listen to what the prophets are prophesying to you. They fill you with false hopes. They speak visions from their own minds, not from the mouth of the Lord. Jeremiah 23:16-17. Question 9. What did God tell Jeremiah about prayer for Judah? A. To pray constantly for them. B. To pray for their victory in battle. C. To gather the priests and intercede. D. Not to pray for them anymore. The answer is D. Not to pray for them anymore. So do not pray for this people, nor offer any plea or petition for them. Do not plead with me, for I will not listen to you. Jeremiah 7:16. Question 10. What did Jeremiah say would happen to the temple in Jerusalem? A. It would be destroyed like Shiloh. B. It would stand forever. C. It would be filled with gold. D. It would be moved to Babylon. The answer is A. It would be destroyed like Shiloh. While you were doing all these things, declares the Lord, I spoke to you again and again, but you did not listen. I called you, but you did not answer. Therefore, what I did to Shiloh, I will now do to the house that bears my name, the temple you trust in, the place I gave to you and your ancestors. Jeremiah 7:12-14. Question 11. Who was the Babylonian king that conquered Judah? A. Pharaoh Necho. B. Nebuchadnezzar. C. Cyrus the Great. D. Darius the Mede. The answer is B. Nebuchadnezzar. I will summon all the peoples of the north, and my servant Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, declares the Lord. And I will bring them against this land and its inhabitants, and against all the surrounding nations. I will completely destroy them and make them an object of horror and scorn, and an everlasting ruin. Jeremiah 25:9. Question 12. How long did Jeremiah prophesy that the Babylonian exile would last? A. 40 years. B. 70 years. C. 100 years. D. 10 years. The answer is B. 70 years. Question 13. What did Jeremiah place on his neck as a symbol of submission to Babylon? A. A yoke. B. A crown. C. A robe. D. A chain. The answer is A. A yoke. This is what the Lord said to me. Make a yoke out of straps and crossbars and put it on your neck. Jeremiah 27:2. Question 14. What promise did God make to his people in Jeremiah? A. You will rule over Babylon. B. I will destroy you completely. C. You will never return to your land. D. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. The answer is D. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Question 15. What happened to Jeremiah when he was thrown into a cistern? A. He drowned. B. He was left to die in the mud. C. He was rescued by Ebed-Melech. D. He was eaten by wild animals. The answer is C. He was rescued by Ebed-Melech. Then the king commanded Ebed-Melech the Cushite, take 30 men from here with you and lift Jeremiah the prophet out of the cistern before he dies. Jeremiah 38:7-13. Question 16. What did Jeremiah buy from his cousin Hanamel? A. A vineyard. B. A scroll. C. A field in Anathoth. D. A house in Jerusalem. The answer is C. A field in Anathoth. Question 17. What new covenant did God promise through Jeremiah? A. The law written on the hearts of his people. B. A return to animal sacrifices. C. A kingdom of earthly riches. D. An end to all prophecy. The answer is A. The law written on the hearts of his people. This is the covenant I will make with the people of Israel after that time, declares the Lord. I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. I will be their God, and they will be my people. Jeremiah 31:31-34. Question 18. What did King Jehoiakim do with Jeremiah's scroll? A. Burned it. B. Read it to the people. C. Buried it in the temple. D. Sent it to Babylon. The answer is A. Burned it. Whenever Jehudi had read 3 or 4 columns of the scroll, the king cut them off with a scribe's knife and threw them into the firepot until the entire scroll was burned in the fire. Jeremiah 36:23. Question 19. What did Jeremiah compare Judah's unfaithfulness to? A. A thief in the night. B. A fruitless tree. C. A ship without a captain. D. A broken cistern. The answer is D. A broken cistern. My people have committed 2 sins. They have forsaken me, the spring of living water, and have dug their own cisterns, broken cisterns that cannot hold water. Jeremiah 2:13. Question 20. What title is often given to Jeremiah? A. The weeping prophet. B. The warrior prophet. C. The king's prophet. D. The rich prophet. The answer is A. The weeping prophet. Oh, that my head were a spring of water, and my eyes a fountain of tears. I would weep day and night for the slain of my people. Jeremiah 9:1. Question 21. What did Jeremiah tell the people to do when Babylon attacked? A. Fight back with all their strength. B. Trust in Egypt for help. C. Surrender and submit to Babylon. D. Hide in the mountains. The answer is C. Surrender and submit to Babylon. I gave the same message to Zedekiah, king of Judah. I said, bow your neck under the yoke of the king of Babylon. Serve him and his people, and you will live. Why will you and your people die by the sword, famine, and plague with which the Lord has threatened any nation that will not serve the king of Babylon? Jeremiah 27:12-13. Question 22. Who falsely accused Jeremiah of deserting to the Babylonians? A. King Zedekiah. B. Hananiah. C. Pashur. D. Irijah. The answer is D. Irijah. But when he reached the Benjamin gate, the captain of the guard, whose name was Irijah son of Shelemiah, the son of Hananiah, arrested him and said, You are deserting to the Babylonians. Jeremiah 37:13-14. Question 23. What did God tell Jeremiah about his knowledge of him? A. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. B. You have chosen your own path. C. You must prove yourself worthy. D. I will test you with fire. The answer is A. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Jeremiah 1:5. Question 24. What happened to the people of Judah after Jerusalem was destroyed? A. They were taken into exile in Babylon. B. They became wealthy traders. C. They were all killed. D. They migrated to Egypt willingly. The answer is A. They were taken into exile in Babylon. Nebuzaradan, commander of the imperial guard, carried into exile to Babylon the people who remained in the city. along with those who had gone over to him and the rest of the people. Jeremiah 39, 9-10. Question 25. How did Jeremiah respond to the destruction of Jerusalem? A. He rejoiced that God's justice was served. B. He wept and lamented over the city's downfall. C. He led a rebellion against Babylon. D. He moved to Babylon with the captives. The answer is B. He wept and lamented over the city's downfall. How deserted lies the city once so full of people. How like a widow is she, who once was great among the nations. She who was queen among the provinces has now become a slave. Bitterly she weeps at night. Tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers there is no one to comfort her. All her friends have betrayed her. They have become her enemies. Lamentations 1:1-3. That concludes our study on the book of Jeremiah. How well did you do? More importantly, what lessons did you take away? Jeremiah's message reminds us that even in times of judgment, God's plans are never for destruction but for restoration. His faithfulness to Judah, despite their rebellion, teaches us that God's mercy is always within reach when we turn back to Him. Until next time, keep seeking truth, stand firm in faith, and trust in God's promises. See you soon.